Hey guys, Romie here. Please like, comment, subscribe. So this is my review for Real Housewives of Atlanta Season 9. Yes, Season 9, Episode 10, Uncharitable Behavior. The episode actually starts off with, we're at Phaedra's house, and we're out in her, on her porch in her backyard, by her pool, because she has Aiden now, and Aiden, he's getting his cookies together for her charitable event for the kids in Flint, Michigan, because of course she's raising money so that they can go to camp. And Aiden's going to be selling his cookies for how much? $5.99? No, $6.99. And I love the fact that Phaedra is really trying to introduce him to doing charitable things for kids. And she wanted him to understand it to a point where he could go and verbally explain it to others. So she was like, what are you doing this for? Selling cookies. Why? So for other kids. Like, yeah, so you're selling it to kids who don't have what you have. When you have more of something, you should feel like you can go and give to others who don't have. I love that Phaedra is doing that, especially, again, you're supposed to teach kids and set them in ways when they're younger, so that that's the direction that they'll go in life. And while that's happening, she gets a call from Cynthia. Cynthia goes and calls her, and this phone call must have gone on for a while. And the phone call was comprised of Cynthia asking, every other type of question. Because remember, Cynthia wasn't at the meeting that she had with the ladies where Kenya and Sheree got into it. So Cynthia had a million and one questions. And because it was from, okay, so how much is the split? Where's the location? Where's everything that, yeah, it was realistic questions, but the issue was you weren't there because you couldn't be there. Cool. I'm going to go and send out an email so that everyone has the entire details so that we don't have to go and do this because I don't have time for this. Sheree, she's going she's going furniture, wall, backsplash, you name it. Everything for her walls, tiles. And because she's on a budget, and she keeps telling us that she's over budget, and we get it, you're over budget. I'm still trying to figure out where is this budget comprised of. And then again, people kind of forget, you can take out there's different type of loans. So you can take out a home improvement loan. So maybe that's what Sheree's doing, so that she doesn't have to front the money, but we'll have the money up front. Guess who shows up? Marlo. Marlo is back. Marlo's looking exactly like Marlo. She has the boobs out. She's wearing something relatively tight but slightly loose enough so that she can breathe. And actually, Sheree's interior designer went and set it up. He's just like, I know you two are actually friends, so why not go and surprise you two? Well, not friends, but acquaintances. Let me go and surprise you with her. This is our way of introducing Marlo back to the show. We get it. You don't have to set all of this up. You could just say, I have Marlo back because I need some help with the house, and regardless of the fact that she's not going to physically do anything, she can point and say, that's great, that's great. Now, Marlo already shown her some ideas. Like, okay, I'm excited. The narrative switches once it gets to about that Kenya. Because, of course, Sheree talks about how Kenya's house, the plumbing wasn't set up. Now, mind you, this was a while ago that Kenya had her house warming. Well, her preemptive house warming. And yes, at that time, nothing was really set up. At least the major functions of the house, like the plumbing and all that wasn't usable. But now, Kenya's in the house. It's pretty much done. It looks very nice. So, Sheree's, she's being Sheree. She by Sheree. So we get it. I'm just thinking, Sheree, Kenya, your house, I like your house better, Sheree. But Kenya's living in her house. She's already put a lot of stuff in she's already put enough stuff in the house where you feel like the house is already done, at least at that particular time. So I gotta give it up to Kenya as well. Marlo's like, yeah, about Sheree. It's like, oh, what's wrong? I thought you guys were good. Well, I thought so too. I thought we were friends. But Kenya decided that she wanted to have a birthday party, and she didn't invite me. She called me to get ideas to pluck my brain. You know who wasn't there? Because Sheree was actually there. Interestingly enough, Sheree was there. Sheree, Nene, Cynthia, and Kenya. You know who wasn't there? Marlo. Because Marlo and Nene had a falling out. So Marlo was over it. And of course, Sheree's going to tell her about what's going on with the pop-up event, so Marlo's going to pop up there. Speaking of Kenya, I'm thinking, oh Lord. But that is kind of messy. It kind of reminds me of what Cynthia did with Kenya to a certain extent. So I'm like, Kenya, you may want to fix that one fast, because we remember how you felt when Cynthia kind of did something like that to you. Now, Kenya comes back to her house. She comes back to that house of hers, and things are broken. It actually kind of looked like there was blood, if I'm not mistaken, on the glass. Her cameras were spray painted. Originally, I didn't catch it. I'm like, why are they focusing so much on the camera? Why are they focusing so much on the camera? And then it hit me. It was spray painted. Because it was spray painted, you couldn't see all the damage that was being done. I'm thinking, that was actually kind of smart. But anyway, he smashed windows, mainly the garage window to get to her car so that he could smash the back window. And she has a Range Rover. I don't think it's the Range Rover Sport either. I think it's like the Range Rover. Or maybe it's the Range Rover Sport. No. Either way, that car, it starts at like 60, 70K. So, and that window isn't cheap. That's not something where you had to throw it in order to break, is what I'm trying to say. He even went and broke the window on her back door. It was everything. So then she goes and she calls Candy. I didn't expect her to call Candy, but she goes and calls Candy to let Candy know this is what's going on. Candy's like, okay, so what are you doing? What are people advising you to do? What is your father doing? You know, stay away from him, restraining order, all of that. You know what she does? She's like, no, I'm not sure. I'm thinking, Kenya, this storyline mess is over. You need to stop with this, because we don't want anything to happen to you. Contrary to very popular belief, we don't want anything to happen to you. And we're not saying that Matt is going to like physically hit you, but at this point he doesn't necessarily have to. It could be in a fit of rage and frustration. He could throw something. He could shake something, and you know, you could be in the vicinity and things could go left. So Candy kind of gives a general olive branch of, you can come to my house, you know, if you want. I didn't take that too seriously. I took that as Candy just trying to be cordial and trying to help girl out since she called and kind of sounded like she was in distress. But we'll see what happens with that slight invitation that wasn't necessarily an invitation. Cynthia goes and she's trying to move out of her house. She's trying to move out of her house because it was sold. The issue with her lake house is it was originally appraised for $940K. Her second home, well, not second home, when it was appraised again, it was for 600 and something K. So you see, there's over $300,000 difference. There's over a $300,000 difference in the appraisal from the first to the second. Now she has to get it appraised again because the amount that they wanted, she's saying, no, we're not gonna pay for. So now it's all limbo. But she already sold her condo. Now she's talking to Noelle because Noelle's upstairs. She's I think she's partially homeschooled maybe or something. So she's doing her homework, you know, trying to avoid the inevitable. Cynthia said, what are you doing? We have to get out of here. Like, oh, I don't know. It's like, oh, okay. So, like, what's really going on? Are you having some mixed feelings? Like, because I know originally you were all gung-ho. Yeah, I was when the house moved forward, but now it's here. It's like, oh, because you didn't expect it to come this fast, and you actually didn't have time to really reflect on the fact that you're moving out of your, basically, childhood home. I was like, yeah. Because she even has this really cool black memory wall, and she says, like, wait, I have to take all that down? Yes, you have to take all that down. We can't take the wall. It's an actual wall. It's not a sheet. See, that's what I would have done. I would have gotten, like, not bedrock, but something to place over the wall so that you could actually take the wall. That would have been nice. But maybe they'll do that in the next house. She said, we can take a picture of it. You can take off all the post-its. You can recreate it or start a new one in the new house. So that, oh, yeah. So, again, we get it. Noelle grew up in the house. So we'll let that be for now. I'm saying it for the third time. Kenya goes to Phaedra's place of business, her job, because Kenya needs to talk to Phaedra and consult her services. I'm like, what? I'm looking at this in shock. in utter shock. This can't be life right now. When did they get so... How did... What? The issue is, she wants to go and get advice on what's going on with Matt. But she starts it off with just clarifying the initiative that they're doing with the pop-up shop. It's going to be a 50-50 split. Of course, no one knew that it was going to be that steep of a split. But it is for charity, so they're like, okay, cool, whatever. This is when Kenya, you know, she's trying to break down. I'm like, Kenya? We're all looking at this like, okay, there's a tear. There we go. Phaedra even gives her a, a tissue. Like, oh, honey, what's wrong? Yeah, so it's about Matt. He came, he busted the windows at my house, my car, all of that. And, you know, Phaedra's just very honest. Like, so what did the police say? Well, I've been informed that I could get a restraining order, but I just know how he is personality-wise. So if I get a restraining order, it's really not going to work because he's just going to come back anyway. And I'm thinking, is he going to come back solely because of him or because of the fact that he doesn't really believe that you want him to go because you keep contacting him? Not saying the physical part or anything that he's doing like that is your fault, because it's not. But you can't keep contacting someone who acts like that and then expect them to leave you alone when you finally say, leave me alone, because the next breath you go and you reach back out to them. Like, if they respond to you, don't respond. Doesn't matter what they say or do, just don't respond. Just don't do it. And Phaedra just lets it be known. She understands what it is to be in a relationship like that, where the person shows you who they are after they get married. And I know a lot of people didn't believe Phaedra, but I always believe Phaedra to a certain degree, because that happens all the time. People get in relationships and it's all good until they feel like you can't go anywhere, and that's when they show themselves. That's when they show themselves, and you have nothing really to do but either accept it, try to change them, or it's really either accept it, try to change them, or leave. Those are your only three options. And Kendra's just like, I really appreciate Phaedra being this open and honest with me and sharing certain things with me, because I know we've never been in a place like this before. Of course not, because remember, you came onto the show flirting with her man, not necessarily saying that it was a serious flirt like you wanted him. We never believed that, but just in general, it's just like, she's married, he's married, you're doing too much. So that's where the whole rift started, and then Apollo saw that. I was like, oh, they don't like each other? Well, I'm going to be petty and make this a whole lot worse. He also aided in that. I kind of forgot that he also played a part in that. Kenya gets to Candy's house, and Candy, of course, has Ace. That in her guest home, actually. So, but the guest home is huge. It's like a house itself. It really is a house itself. Like, if it was here in New York and New Jersey, it'd be huge. Huge. It'd be worth, like, 1.2 million or something. Easily. Or, like, 900. Easily, depending on the zip code. And Kenya gets there. Not too long after, Cynthia gets there. Why is Cynthia there? Because Kenya invited Cynthia. Because Candy was looking like, oh, you just let yourself in? Oh, cute. I like you, but what? It's like, oh, okay, this is Kenya. Okay, I got it. Because I'm like, oh, normally you don't go and do this. Kenya lets it be known, I'm currently displaced with the situation with Matt. And Cynthia's also having an issue. Cynthia's issue is her house, her current house has sold, and she has to get out of there. She has to get out of there, and the lake house that she thought that she settled on, because of some legal stuff, she can't get into that yet, and she's displaced. So this place is huge. I'm just in shock. This place is huge. It's so much bigger than I thought it was. This is great. Can I stay here? Yeah, can she stay here? And still was like, oh God, Lord Jesus, this fourth storyline, I'm not gonna kick them out, but I can't believe they blindsided me like this. Well, I shouldn't say that. It was really Kenya, and I'm gonna talk to her when the camera's good off. But anywho, let's switch the subject. Phaedra sent out a text message apparently, and it was to clarify with the purpose of the pop-up shop, and that was for charity. If we all want to go and do a different pop-up shop for each of our business ventures, we can go and do that. But this one is for charity. This is for the Flint water crisis, so that we can send those kids to camp. And so we are doing 50% split. If you have an issue with that, too bad. Because originally they were told it's going to be a small split. So 50% kind of threw a couple of them off, especially Cynthia. Cynthia was like, hold up! These glasses, I'm supposed to have a high profit margin on them because these aren't cheap. These actually aren't cheap regardless of what you may think. They're not cheap. So I need to make some money off of this. Like, what's going on there? What's good? Now, Cynthia's saying, Sheree is basically like a voice recorder. Candy said, not so much. Sheree, after I had a conversation with her, it got back to Portia, and it was reiterated a different way. And because it was reiterated a different way, then we kind of had a falling out and arguments of sorts. And I don't understand. Like, Sheree's going to be Sheree, Portia's going to be Portia. They can both go and stay over there regarding her and her what do you call it? Her and her baby daddy, Riley's father. I hate that phrase, baby daddy. We're retiring that. Riley's father. And so it was like, wait, Riley's father? Isn't that the man who peed on Portia? So, what? Kenya went and flipped the subject and said, isn't that the man that peed on Portia? Everyone's looking at her like, what are you talking about? No, remember, there was a guy who peed on Portia. Wasn't that him? It's like, I don't know what happened in their sex life. I just know that Sheree was told one thing. She went and reiterated it to Portia and Phaedra another way, and now we have problems. I'm thinking, okay, if that's the storyline we're going to go with, cool. You're not necessarily wrong, but there's kind of a piece missing to that right now. But you know what, Candy? I liked you this episode. I really did. So, because I appreciate the fact that you didn't curse them out. I really thought that was really big of you, because I feel like most people have been like, no, you have to, no, this isn't uninvited, no, that's not, we don't. Yeah, and Phaedra's at the pop-up shop. She's trying to go and get all the measurements, the areas, divide equally, and she kind of talks about how these didn't go too well in the past. One was with Nene and Claudia going back and forth. I remember that one. And then the other one also had to do with, remember earlier back when Kenya was trying to make fun of Phaedra with the whole booty thing and that outfit, and we were looking like, no, that ain't the move. When Phaedra had it on, it looked good, but when you doing that, I know it's a joke, but it's like, no. So yeah, you remember that. The fishnets and the baloney on the butts and the butt pads and yeah. Susie. Everyone gets there, including Lena. I'm looking at Lena like, why are you here? I know that you're technically supposed to be a part of the cast this season, but you haven't been here for most of the shooting, or if you have, they haven't really included you. So why are you here? But anyway, they get to the details. Those are going to be $10 to $15. Just makes sense, because if you're going to make 50% of a profit, you can't be doing $5. Now, that makes sense as far as math and accounting. It doesn't make sense when it's them. Like, I like them. I like them all to a certain extent. But why? If photos are free for Rihanna, Beyonce, all these people went, not when it's like backstage and professional lighting, all of that, but just in general, $10 to $15 to, these are people who want to be seen on TV, okay. So we get it. These are people who want to be seen on TV. They signed non-disclosure agreements. They gave consent so that you could actually see their faces on the TV screen. We understand. We got it. Because that's how it works. You sign something before they even film you so that you're not blurred out. When people are blurred out, that's because they didn't give their consent. Because this is basically intellectual property right here. A lot of people don't know that. And the conversation, it shifts because the goal is to reach at least $10,000. And the whole thing was that the 50% profit, it's not an issue if it's going to be 50%. The thing is, Phaedra kind of told them, it's going to be a small portion, a smaller portion. So when people heard 50%, they're like, oh, this is my actual product. I want to make some actual money. But, it was clarified. It's for kids. It's for the children. And Kenya apparently is actually going to go to Flint because, of course, he's going to donate her services to kind of encourage the kids and do some dance classes and stuff. And I was like, wait, you two are going to, you're going to spend the whole week together? What? How, Fred? How, Sway? How? How? I felt like Portia felt a certain way. I really did. And then another thing God sorry about, okay, so what is Sheree selling? Sheree's selling her shirts. Like, her like, okay, I'm thinking, look, don't knock Sheree because trust and believe, people love them some Sheree, so they will buy them shirts, them Who Gonna Check You Boo shirts, just so that they can go and be around Sheree. Candy's going to sell her sex products, and they're like, oh, so we're going to donate a wall to Candy. This wall will be her sex products. Candy said, that's funny that you got all this lip concerning the fact that I'm the only profitable business in this bunch, but I guess we can go and leave the formalities to someone else, because I'm not really fit. But no, no. Phaedra goes on the promotional campaign for it on Dish Nation, and of course she talks about it. She talks about how the goal is 10,000, how everyone's going to chip in for the pop in shop, and when they got to Candy and the sex toys, the bride was like, wait, so you're going to be selling that to kids? No, it's going to be sold to the adults buying it in support of the kids. Like, oh, okay, okay. And that kind of reminded me of when a little bit early when Phaedra was on the phone and she had to convince this person that this will be a kid-friendly zone. Aiden's gonna be there. This is gonna be a kid-friendly zone. Stop it. You make me look bad. Now stop it. I'm turning off. We have this montage of Cynthia having a hard time letting go because in this house there are a lot of memories. There are a lot of great memories with Noelle and Peter. And then there were not so great memories. There were memories of her burning the friendship contract, of Noelle saying that she'll be happy when they all become a big happy family, when Phaedra didn't know her due date, or when her baby was conceived. Lord, I remember that was, I kind of wish I was doing YouTube when that happened, because that was the heyday. And the thing is, the realtor comes because it's time for them to leave. It's time for them to leave, for them to go. Right now, they don't really know where they're going to go. All they do know is that they can't stay there anymore. And, you know, we really did kind of see even Cynthia grow up. Even though she's a grown woman, we did kind of see her grow up because we saw her with the good and bad with Peter when she tried to do the seductive stuff for Peter. And then when their relationship was starting to fall apart, we saw all of that, and it really did make me feel a certain way. It's like, wow, this is why we're so invested in this show. Now, when we're back at the pop-up shop, everyone is getting their stuff together. Kenya, I must give it to Kenya, though. Even though she had this big marquee that was taking up a huge portion of her area, that's great marketing, that's great branding. She had the white and purple. Purple's the sign of money and royalty. So it made sense. It went in line with her brand, and I didn't realize she was still selling that stuff because I don't hear about it, because she doesn't talk about it. Like, I get it. If it's selling, it's selling. But it never hurts to talk about your brand. That's why Candy keeps winning. She keeps talking, promoting her brand, keeps showing it. You can't just go and let the initial hype go and pay for itself. That's not how this whole thing works. We have Portia have these nice drapes, and the drapes did kind of look like one side was going to fall. So I will give Kenya that. But Portia's like, what? You trying to be messy? It's like, no, it's actually going to fall. Oh, it was? Oh, my bad. You good though, right? Okay, we go. Who's going to check me, Goo? Who's going to check me, Boo? I think, what's her name? Phaedra was selling Fix-It Jesus. Now, what I will say about Kenya is, why Kenya make that whole little thing of people want natural hair, they want to rock their natural hair, which is true, but people want the option of also having clip-ins, potential sew-ins, potential weaves, clip-ins if nothing else, so that they can put it in and put it back out, and no extensions. But I don't know a lot of people, but I know people love their natural hair, but will still put an extra bundle or two in there to fill it out. There's nothing wrong with that, or clip-in. Portia's booty almost knocked down her entire table. It was so cute. Apparently, Apollo's parents were there, and that was surprising because we didn't know that they had that type of relationship. So, of course, Phaedra's introducing them to everyone. And Kenya said, wow, I had no idea. Yeah, neither did I. Neither did I. I didn't know that they were that close. I didn't, but it makes sense because I've noticed that Phaedra's been doing a lot to try and make sure that she doesn't really bash Apollo. And I knew it wasn't just because Apollo was her husband or the father of her children. It had to be something else. It makes sense. If she's still in good with the parents, then she'd want to go and preserve that relationship. Guess who comes back? Marlo. Marlo's back, and well, we already knew that, but Marlo is back for part 2, and she's aiming straight for Kenya. Marlo's looking at Kenya like, excuse me, excuse me, excuse me. Yeah, it's all well and good, but here's my issue with you. Now, Kenya said, hold up now, Marlo. I want to apologize. I really want to apologize because of the whole not the birthday party. It was something else that Marlo was invited to. And said, no, that's cute, but what about that birthday party? Because if we're supposed to be friends, how come you couldn't have my back? Now, again, it was loud enough to where everyone was starting to pay attention to them. So that needed to be broken up very quickly. Long story, very short, Marlo was over and said, we can't be friends if you're not going to invite me to your birthday party after you consulted my services on how things should be done for your party, and you're trying to drop me and replace me with your friend Nene. And I will say that did kind of remind me of when, like I said, Cynthia did the same thing to, Kenya. So I'm thinking with the roles reversed, Kenya, you're going to have to go and let Marlo, allow her to be mad, because Marlo did really stick up for you a lot with the whole Nene thing, but now she's calling you the new Nene part 2. You can take that however you want to, but here's what it is. Now, it's the event's over. Phaedra raised, what'd she say, 7,000 or over 7,000. Portia just decides, you know what? That whole half-off thing, that wasn't going to work. That really wasn't going to work. I sold, but I didn't sell as much as I thought I would. So I'm going to give you all the profits, including, and I'm going to do a love offering. So that's going to bring it to a cool 1,000. I'm thinking, okay, so how much did you actually sell then if you're doing all of that, which is beautiful for the kids, but I'm just starting to think. Candy said, I sold what I sold, but I'm also going to add on top of that. So basically we're going to round it off to 2,500. It was like, wow, okay, Candy, thank you. So there we go, 3,500 there. Cynthia, I believe, gave 1,000, so that's 4,500. Sheree had over 500, and what was it, 54,000. I was like, okay. So that was her contribution. I'm like, haha, you're mocking her with the shirts, but look at that, And then Kenya was 400 something, and I understand Kenya's going to be there at the event too, but I'm thinking, Kenya, for all that talking, and Sheree ended up giving more, at least there. She could have contributed more later, or technically her services with when she goes down there, but I was just like, Now, we didn't have Leah's total or anything like that. Ada was so cute, because at the very end he said, okay, Cynthia, I need your money. He's like, what? Yeah, I need your money. Oh, yeah, I didn't pay for it. Yeah, that's right. Come on, let's go. I said, oh my gosh, Aiden. Yes. Teach them while they're young. Please like, comment, subscribe. Come back next week. Watch Mariah's World. My review for Mariah's World. It will be